Okay, can everybody hear me now? Oh, I gotta love it. Let me see what I can do. All right. Tea family, it's gonna be one of those days. All right, we have a lot to go over. I wanted to welcome everybody here. You were not getting the audio. That's awesome. So, all right, we're gonna reset everybody. Welcome. Thank you for reaching out and letting us know. Welcome to the replay for those of you on the replay. And I do want to say thank you for those that are here with me for letting me know you couldn't hear it. Every once in a while, our technology glitches out and we are in some complications tonight. Now, I will be depending on my handy dandy assistant a little more than usual because I can't see the comments, which is why I needed him to reach out. But I am going to call it tonight and see this might be the most magical winter blend we've ever created. This is Mocha Mint, and today we're going to be making a very special latte, and it's going to have several parts, and every part is going to use the tea. So I do want to say though, with this Mocha Mint right here, if you could smell it through the screen, what I would tell you is that you'd be in heaven if you love that chocolate mint, because it is so powerful. I can smell it even just being out. But we're going to be talking about Mocha Mint today. We're going to be going beyond the average mug and cup of tea. We're going to be talking about food of the gods. We're going to be talking about a Greek curse, what you should be eating with your Mocha Mint tea to bring out most of the flavors. And we've got a couple other really special things, which is why I cannot be on the comment screen like I normally am tonight, constantly looking down. I've got to focus on some other things, so I'll be depending on my handy dandy assistant. So, all right, breakfast rose for Stephanie and coffee for Diane. Diane? Oh, black rose? Should be breakfast rose.
Water for Kim.
Water for Kim. All right, there you go. Water's always a good thing. So, welcome, tea family. I do want you to tell me what you're drinking and say hello so that we know you're there. We're going to be making a very, very special Mocha Mint Latte now that you can hear me tonight. And all three parts of it, 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, all 4 parts. There are going to be 4 parts to our Mocha Mint Latte tonight, and they're all going to be used focused on our Mocha Mint tea blend. And so I do want to remind everybody, Mocha Mint is a seasonal blend. It is only available through January 1st and won't be back till fall.
And it's drinking wine, and it is breakfast.
Oh, it is breakfast rose, and all right, that's awesome. There's nothing wrong with having a little bit of wine every now and then. All right. So Mocha Mint, I'm going to show it again, but Mocha Mint is handcrafted with organic cacao nibs and real peppermint. Sometimes some of the peppermint, a lot of it we actually grow ourselves. And here's an interesting fact. The cacao nibs that you see right here in this blend, in the 1500s, you could buy a turkey for just 100 of these. They were literally used as currency by the Aztecs because they are more valuable, or were more valuable than gold. I would also say that sometimes for the people who want to use the cacao nibs to make chocolate could be more valuable than gold, depending as well. There are moments in my life where chocolate has been more valuable than gold. But fun fact, peppermint is actually, that you see in here, is actually a natural flavor amplifier. It will literally make the chocolate taste sweeter without adding any sugar. And there is a myth about peppermint as well. Peppermint is actually the product, supposedly, of a Greek tragedy. The legend in the Greek mythology says the god Hades had a lover named Mint, and his jealous wife turned her into a plant to be trampled on. Hades couldn't reverse it, so he gave her an incredible scent so that she would always be remembered. So there you go. There's our Greek mythology for the day. Nothing like the fairy tales and the stories of the past. Now, I do want to talk, and no, I know we're not brewing tea yet. I get it. That's because we want to do things in a certain order tonight, and you'll understand why in a little bit. There'll be lots of dishes for the handy dandy assistant later today too, but oh well. Who? Amy likes my story. Yeah, I mean, like it's just fun, you know. You find out these interesting things. Like I didn't know that about peppermint. I probably did when I studied Greek mythology in college, but that was a really, really long time ago. So you start to forget some of those things. So perfect food matches. A good tea pairing with food can either echo the flavors or challenge them. And so that's why I like to do some of the both. Obviously, a dark chocolate brownie or a chocolate brownie, candy cane truffles, a chocolate chia pudding, chocolate dipped strawberries, a fresh peppermint fudge. These are all similar in flavor. They have an element of the tea in them. But surprisingly, things that are amazing to go with this tea are salted pretzels, buttered popcorn, aged cheddar cheese. I know, seriously, the saltiness of the cheese is going to cut through the richness of the cacao and really bring out and highlight the sweetness of the mint. Okay, I know. Cheddar is one of those things. There's a reason why it's one of my favorite cheeses. Another good pairing that's going to be slightly complementary as opposed to similar in flavor are going to be warm croissants, especially the warm because you're going to have the steaminess and it's going to bring out like a softer buttery note to go with it. This is always good with like a spicy chili or a chili of some sort because the mint is going to cool it where the chocolate is going to deepen the flavors of the chili. Unbelievable combination. There are people that add chocolate to their chili just for that reason. So another unusual match that really works well is avocado toast. Now, I'm not a huge avocado person, but my middle child could live on avocado toast, or she practically did at one point in her life. But the creaminess of the creamy fat in the avocado is going to mimic kind of the milk chocolate when paired with these cacao nibs, and then really bring out a fun flavor. So those are some of the more traditional and a little more unusual food pairings for our mocha mint tea. And one of the reasons why it works really well is the cacao nibs are going to release the mocha flavor when steeped in hot water, which is why it makes an amazing tea. People do not expect chocolate to infuse so beautifully in the tea, but the cacao contains natural soluble aromatics, and so it just is going to make that tea so good. So let's start making our latte. And I'd like to say we're going to brew some mocha mint tea first, and we are, but just not in our original cup. So this is still, we're going to treat this like it is a kind of a green tea, maybe even an oolong. I would say you could brew like 175. You could even sneak up to 180 a little bit. And so I am going to take this mocha mint, and for tonight, I pre-measured this, and I'm going to put it in my little infuser here. All right, and then we brewed this to 180, and that is where we wanted it. There we go.
Thanks, it's just always the story now. It's still going down. We have 9 inches. You said 8 and 5 and
lots of snow. I actually think we have over 9 inches. I think we're between 9 and 10 someplace because of where we were measuring. I actually think it's just a hair more. But yeah, lots of snow. Hopefully everybody's staying nice and warm. If I could get 2 minutes on the clock, and I am doing 2 minutes, you can even put, actually give me 3. We're going to brew this one a little stronger. It is okay to brew. It is peppermint, so we don't have any actual Camellia sinensis in here, so it's not going to grow bitter. You can brew it a little bit longer, but that's why I'm going to go with 3 minutes because I want this to be a little bit stronger while we're brewing it. Now, studies show that peppermint aroma boosts alertness and mood, and this is one of the reasons why mocha mint feels like it's going to give you a wonderful winter lift without any of the jitters that we were talking about last week. I also do want to say, for those of you that suffer migraines, sometimes mint is one of those things that a lot of times it will help certain people. And then there's people like me that it the sharpness of the scent will sometimes spike my migraine a little bit more. So be careful with that as the camera jumps a little bit. This is, life is going on here. Okay, so while this is brewing, we are gonna go ahead and we're gonna make some mocha mint whipped cream. Now to do this, I am keeping this, we have some whipped cream that I had before. And I'm going to say this is about, I don't know, an ounce. If that, I would say this is probably a quarter of a cup of homemade whipped cream. Just cream that I had previously whipped. This is a great way to use some of that. I am not going to use a whole teaspoon. I'm only going to use a half teaspoon of our mocha mint. And we're going to just kind of drop it right in there. Then you can always crush that up first if you want to, but you don't have to. And then we're going to just take, and I'm going to re-whip this. I previously whipped it earlier, which is why we had whipped cream as opposed to cream. And the reason why I had done that is here. It's just so that it would whip a little faster on the screen with everybody today. And I'm just doing kind of this cold foam whipped cream. What the blender will do is it's going to infuse some of that mocha mint in there and get it all in the whipped cream flavor. And I guess I should stop calling it whipped cream so much as I'm foaming it. I'm creating a nice mocha mint foam. If I kept going, I would get whipped cream. All right. Yep, I heard you. All right, now I've got a nice foam in here, and I'm going to leave that foam for a reason. And we're actually going to go ahead and put this on this plate. That'll be okay. Now, we had our time go off. And we're going to let that sit. Now, you can still brew this 3 times. Even though I have brewed it for a little longer, I would just still add a minute for the second brew and add another one for the third brew. But that is our mocha foam or mocha whipped cream, depending on how long you whip that. And as you can see, I've just got some nice foam in here, which is going to be great for our latte. Now, a lot of lattes use steamed milk in there. Ours, I wanted it cold. A lot of times I like to do the whipped cream, and then I changed my mind partway through today, and we're just going to do some foam on the top, but it'll make the same when we get to the actual latte. And another interesting and unusual fact is mocha mint blends were originally created for royalty. So peppermint and chocolate were both considered luxury imports. So pairing them was considered extremely indulgent and exclusive. And so there you go, a little taste of what was once only for royalty. Now, we've made that. The next thing I want to show you, because you know, a lot of times in the shops where they're the tea and coffee shops, when they're making the lattes, they're using a very specific syrup. They use a lot of syrups, and I've made some simple syrups. But what I did here is I'm going to show this, and there's not a lot of sound in it. I'm just going to be quiet. It's going to take about a minute, and we're going to watch. I made a mocha mint syrup, latte syrup. Okay. All right. Mocha mint, tablespoon of sugar, mocha mint, a tablespoon of water. You can about a tablespoon of water. Turn your burner on low, and all we want to do here is stir it up, and we want to dissolve the sugar. And so just keep an eye on it. We're not trying to cook it. We're trying to infuse. And as you can see, I sped it up right here. Completely sped it up. And then you're going to shut off the heat once the sugar is dissolved, and then you're going to let it sit that 4 to 5 minutes and really thicken. I typically will stir it every once in a while, and then you see you've got the syrup right there. and then I just literally strain out. You could reuse that the tea leaves to make more syrup, but that is how we make a mocha mint latte syrup for everything. Just really quick, really easy. And where is that syrup, honey? Oh, here it is. And there it is. There's our syrup. So now what I am going to do is I'm going to put this aside. We're going to do this all together. And we're going to make one more thing. We're going to make some mocha mint sugar for the rim of our glass. We're making this a really fancy one today. All right. So take this one down. We're going to try and do this without a mess. And what I want to do is add, depending on how many cups you want to do, I'm making a small batch at a time. So I'm going to take about a tablespoon of sugar. Now for me, I'm using an organic cane sugar. Organic, non-GMO. It has been crushed down a little bit. Otherwise, they're usually a little more brown and stuff. But then I am going to add a teaspoon. Now, if you wanted to add a little bit more, if you wanted to be a little more flavorful, you can always add more. But I wanted to add about a teaspoon of the mocha mint tea to it. Told you, every part's going to have some of this tea so that it's really going to bring up the flavor. And then we're going to do something really crazy. We're going to take this very strange tool called a spoon. Keep life simple. You know, I used to follow Alton Brown. The only unitasker he had in his kitchen was the fire extinguisher. So then you're going to just crush this down into the sugar. Now this is going to break it down a little bit, but again, because we don't have the Camellia sinensis in here, that's not a problem. Actually, let me switch over here. Okay. And we're going to break it down. And what we want to do is crush the tea down a little bit. It won't make it bitter. Because again, we don't have the tea plant in it. But it's just going to crush up. And then we're going to mix it. And I found a bowl is better for this. So we've got a bowl right here. Okay. And then we're going to stir it up. And what we've done is we've created a mocha mint sugar. Now you could use this on anything, even coffee, for those of you that are drinking coffee in New England while you're still getting pelted with snow and everything like that. But look at that. It's just beautiful, beautiful flavored sugar. And then we're going to kind of put it all on our small plate. I have a mess down here I'm going to have to clean up later. Okay, now I did have another plate, and this is going to be what we're going to call our wet plate. And so all my drippings from here. And I may even take a little bit of our tea. And the whole idea is, put that there. We take our cup. We want to get it wet. But why not use it? Weird flavors. Weird sounds, weird sounds. And then we're going to put it in here. And this is why I have a tray, because I always make a mess. We know I always make a mess. But there you have it. Now we have a beautiful sugar ring that has little bits of the tea and the tea flavored sugar. So now we're ready to put this together. Here's the hard part. Aim for the middle so we don't knock off our sugar. So there's our tea, our mocha mint tea. Ooh, I can really smell that. And then we've got our foam that we're going to kind of put on top, or the whipped cream, either way. And then I forgot to add the syrup. Of course I did. There's your sweetness, but you can put that syrup right in there. You're still good. And then you can even take a little bit of this Mocha Mint sugar, kind of put it right there on the top, and then you've got your sugar. Now, I'm not a mint person. I'm a serene sunrise kind of gal. So my handy-dandy assistant's going to come over here, and he has not tried this yet. I did make this before, tried all the recipes, but he's going to give us an honest flavor. Go ahead. You're the guinea pig tonight.
Chocolate.
Chocolatey? Here.
That's crunchy.
Crunchy. But is it good?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you getting the full flavor of the Mocha Mint tea all the way through?
I'm enjoying the sugar right now.
Oh, so he's just focused on the sugar. All right, we'll focus on the tea part and the latte part.
Yeah. Good.
And the syrup is making it sweet enough?
Did you stir it?
I didn't. Here.
It's probably the bottom.
There you go. Okay, now that I have this mess here. Yes?
Yeah, a lot better.
See? Just needed a little stir with the sugar. So you should put the tea in and then the syrup and then stir it around and then put your phone on top and your topping. But that's one of those things. That's a way to take 4 different parts of this same Mocha Mint latte and really continue to bring out the flavor rather than just having it in the actual tea part. And again, I didn't use the steamed milk. I used a cold one, but you could even just do a hot tea with the Mocha Mint whipped cream on top. If you wanted to throw another flavor in there, if you wanted your tea more chocolatey, you could add a chocolate syrup. If you wanted it more pepperminty, you can make more peppermint to it. So, but we wanted to show you a way to do everything. Now I can get back to all the comments and everything else. Now that I've made it. Stephanie says yummy. I'm glad you think it's yummy. You know, the Mocha Mint Latte, one of the good things about it, and one of the reasons why people order it and enjoy it in the shops, is that it's creamy. It's got its natural sweetness. There's not a lot of other ingredients in it. It's pretty standing ones.
Oh, there's a.
Does my handy dandy assistant get a bonus for being in the video? You get our thank you for being in the video. Thank you, handy dandy assistant, for doing that. So again, what we did is we steeped the tea in the hot water at about 180 degrees. We went ahead and we did 3 minutes as opposed to the normal 1 minute that we would do. Then you would make your syrup and you would add your steamed milk. Put your sugar rim on if you wanted to earlier. Yeah, he did get a Mocha Mint Latte. I mean, let's be honest, he did get that. All right, but and then you could make that with skim milk, and you could make that with oat milk, or you can make that with soy milk, or you can use that with a cream. You know, there's so many different things, and the type of sugar, or you could do a honey, or you could do so many different things in there that even with what I did, I'm just giving you the basic steps. Now tweak it how you enjoy it, but there's a way to really kind of layer that same flavor all the way through, and some other ideas of things you can do with the Mocha Mint tea. I don't want you to just think you can drink the tea and that's it, but there are other things that you could do with the tea. I love the idea of something like this with the tea flavored sugar and then putting it on the rim, because then again, like what you couldn't see was he kept trying to lick all the sugar off, But the other thing is at the end, instead of taking a little bit of the Mocha Mint sugar, you could have drizzled some chocolate on there or added, a little bit of cinnamon sugar or something else in there. So I do want to say that we have reached the semifinals, and today is the first day of voting for the semifinals for our tea showdown. I know many of you have already voted today. Thank you. But I did want to bring it to your attention, and we are going to take a second, and I'm going to go ahead and bring up the I found a way to put it online so we can have an actual drawing with a random pick, and I don't have to have papers all over because it was just too many things today. But while we are doing that, I wanted to bring this up. And then if you had any questions on the Mocha Mint tea or anything about like the latte or what we did today, please go ahead and put those in the chat or the comments. And now I need to present, add file from. Let's see. I've got to figure out how to add this. Share screen. There we go. Okay. Sorry, everybody. This is the one thing that, okay, and I want to share this. Okay, so what everybody should see now is this big wheel that has names on it, and I'm going to click it, and this is going to be our next winner of the free tea. I know Stephanie won last week. Okay, and known as Katrina. Congratulations. You have won the free tea this week. Now, we will have a drawing, and I will answer that question. Thank you for the question. We will have a drawing after we finish our semifinals. So today we're voting on the first one. Tomorrow we'll find out who won. We'll have voting on Tuesday. We'll find out who won on Wednesday, right? Yes. And so Thursday, I'm expecting to go live briefly just to draw a name on to see who the winner is. It won't be, I don't know that it'll probably be during the day, but it'll be posted up in there. And then next Sunday is, I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore. It's February 1st. I should know that one. So next Sunday is February 1st, and we will have had on the Saturday a live, I will probably actually save it from the 31st. We'll probably announce which tea won on the 31st, but on the 1st during our live, we'll actually who won our big, huge prize for voting in the tea showdown. So how much tea does the Mocha Mint have? So the peppermint, Stephanie?
Caffeine.
Caffeine. I'm sorry. What did I say? Whew. It's been a long day. Okay. How much caffeine does the Mocha Mint tea blend have? And what I will tell you is peppermint has 0. And then the cacao has a negligible amount. It is not as much as chocolate. It is a little less, but it does have a tiny bit in there. It is technically able to be called caffeine free in a lot of places because it has so little in there, but it does have some in there. And I'd have to look upstairs to see the actual milligrams because I don't even know if it's on. Yes, you could make this mocha latte, Stephanie, for an evening drink. This is not going to have even as much caffeine as like a white tea. It's very, very minimal. So unless you're super sensitive to caffeine, which I know some people are, you should be okay. A lot of times people that can't have caffeine, they're not even restricted on chocolate, and this would have less than chocolate. So but then watch what you're doing. You're going to want to do something like we did and make your own syrups because that's where you can get some of the caffeine in there because I don't know what they're using in their syrups and stuff. It's one of the reasons why you're always better off making your own syrups. It's so simple. A simple syrup is just equal parts water and sugar. So you could do a tablespoon of sugar and a tablespoon of water, and then whatever else you wanted to kind of brew in there, and really easy to make your own syrups for your own tea lattes. Okay. Any other questions that I missed? Okay. Let's see. I do know that, let's see, I'm trying to remember if there were any other questions that we had gotten about this particular tea recently. Like I said, the best water temperature is probably going to be like around a 170. I would treat it like a green tea for the most part. And it can be it could be a little bit warmer because we don't have that camellia sinensis in there. So let's see. Well, I don't know that there are any other questions incoming. So Mocha Mint, you'll only have until next Saturday to order it, and then it'll be gone until the fall. If you want to know exactly, on our website, we now have the tea blends. Our limited editions are all listed. We have congratulations to Katie, who won an ounce of tea. I know Stephanie did. That's what I was going to say. Stephanie did not get her tea because she lives around the local area, but then a storm decided to come in and cancel both opportunities I would have had to give it to her this week. So, or actually, yeah, all three, because anyway, so she will get hers next week, and I will ship some out to Katie this next week. But if you didn't win, all those previous correct answers will still get brought over, and you will be able to be in the big drawing for our big package next week. All right. What? Correct answers, correct votes. I do have to say, we have been talking, Handy Assistant and I have been talking, and we're pretty sure, you know, from the vote today on all the social medias, on all four of them, we're pretty confident that Highland Dawn will win tonight. And then the next one is, so yeah, but no, it's let me see. I want to see where I am. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Serene Sunrise versus Morning Irish is the one that will be coming up next. So you all can start to think about that. It's been kind of fun knowing a lot of you and what your preferences are based on the teas that you purchase and that you go to, who's going to vote for what. But the finals look like it's either going to be Highland Dawn versus Morning Irish, or it's going to be Highland Dawn versus Serene Sunrise. And so it'll be hard. I noticed that you all should be noticing that each vote gets a little more difficult now. I know Diane had to flip a coin at one point. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Again, if you have any questions later, just reach out. But stay safe, stay warm. Hopefully we will all keep our power. That's the big thing nowadays. And we will see you all later this week. Have a great week.